Hi.
Vinny, kick us off then.
Jurgen, we'll start with team news. Lovren, Milner, Keita, Shaqiri. How far away or all of them?
Again?
Start with Dejan first.
They aren't trained now since, what is today? Wednesday is today. Yes, since the start of the week, Monday. So, first steps out there on the pitch is good. Mele is not in team training. Naby is not in team training. Shaq is not in team training.
Any time scale and stuff?
Yeah, all soon back.
Just on Shaqiri, how important is it to keep hold of him in this transfer window? We hear of interest from Roma and Sevilla.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Why?
How important to keep hold of him in this window? How important will he still be for you this season?
We had the majority of the December and January. We had a bench full of kids, wonderful kids, but kids. So how could we think about giving a player to anybody? I don't understand that. It's not about Chuck or whatever. It's about pretty much everybody. That we just have to keep them for sorting our situation and not the situation for different clubs. And if somebody would come around the corner and ask properly, but never what didn't happen. So that then we maybe, if they are desperate, whatever, then we think, but there's absolutely no intention from our side to do anything.
Obviously, the first game against Wolves this season, we talked a lot about VAR after that, but I'm just looking back at that game. Are Wolves as difficult a test as you face this season in the Premier League, and what is it that makes them so difficult?
Yeah, it was interesting. I understood 100% in the game that it was for Wolves not easy to take because situations we don't see really and stuff like that in these moments. But afterwards, both decisions were completely right. So there's no need to talk after the game about VAR because in this case the VAR took the decisions right. Well, apart from that, Wolves are not only this year, but last year already like this. Are really difficult to play. They play a similar system to other teams. Depends a little bit to how they set up, but 3-5 in the back. But they do it differently. Cody has a different role. They make the pitch really big, ask you for a lot of footwork. I would say you have to run a lot, and that's normal and good, and it's their way to play. But there are, of course, like for us, there are solutions for that, but not without working a lot. So you cannot play on a 50-60% basis against Wolves and have absolutely no chance. And that's a challenge for that game.
Hello.
Hi.
Fabinho got a taste the other day. How close is he to starting, and how good to have him back?
Sensationally good that we have him back. How close is he to starting? I don't know exactly. It's just it was a long time out, not too long, thank God, but it was long enough, and so he needs to find rhythm again, and we will see how we introduce him, how step by step. But best news you can get that we have these boys back, that we have Joel back, that Dejan is on the way back, and we played through the toughest period of the season with two centre halves, and our fifth centre half, Fabinho, who can play the position as well, was injured as well. So that was really tough. We came through, thank God, and now we have to make sure that the boys are in the best possible shape before we use them again. But of course, we do that with training sessions. Fab is in more than a week, which is good. Was in a different squad situations. Maybe he would have trained last week before around the Man United game better than being involved in the game. But so he had a few minutes, and that was good for him as well. And so getting closer and closer.
In terms of results, Premier League, it's been near to perfection. But where is the room for improvement?
Concentration level. So the last 5 minutes of the first half maybe, and second half it was longer, 20 minutes. When United came up, the game should have been decided already. But and I get it 100%. It's a lot of times we're all human beings, and that's normal. We do a lot of things right, so in the right way. dominate the game in a way which maybe it's not, you cannot really expect before the game. But do that, but you don't finish the situations off. So that keeps the game open. And then the quality in the Premier League is just too high that you can, I don't know, on a 90% concentration level, which drops from time to time, that you then are completely secure or safe. And so we came, not real trouble, but they had a few finishes. And a big chance even in the second half. And that's the situation. So there's a lot of space for improvement. What can we do in situations like that? How can we help ourselves? How lively can we stay even without creating constantly, without preparing constantly, direction, stuff like that. So we need to find a common way in these situations to still dominate the game in a just slightly different manner. That's it.
Jurgen, when you break the transfer record, the world transfer record for a goalkeeper, you're expecting to bring somebody in who's special. But Alisson last season was great. This season may be even better. I think since Wilfried Zaha scored for Crystal Palace in November, he's saved the last 18 shots that have been on target. Impressive by anybody's standards. Has he exceeded even your expectations from when you brought him in, and in what way?
As a goalkeeper, we knew what we get. Okay, yes, he made steps, which is normal in his life and with the training he gets with John and Jack. As a person, yes, he has exceeded the expectation because an outstanding guy. It's just, you cannot imagine that a professional football player. We have a lot of really good guys, but he's a very special person, and that's great. Yes, from that point of view, he did it. But apart from that, we knew that we get a really good goalkeeper. His character, how calm he is, helps us a lot. His goalkeeper techniques improve, making the difficult things looking easy. But you have to stay like this. For goalkeepers, you make one little mistake and the ball is in the goal, and that is the life of goalkeepers. They have to live with that. They can live with that, but it's still. I know Ali doesn't take it for granted, or I don't take it for granted. So that's how it is. Fantastic boy, fantastic goalkeeper. Good to have him here.
And when you play for a top team as a goalkeeper, you're not in the action all the time, you're in the action less of the time, which makes it almost more impressive, particularly his recent record, because, and you spoke before about concentration levels, the levels of concentration have to be at the highest possible level if you're only brought into the game once or twice and still produce the goods. So where do those special concentration levels come from?
That's his personality. Yeah, that's his personality. He's like this. He's a very calm person. So family guy, good friend, stuff like this. So he's not easy to excite, I would say. So no, but he is in the game. He knows the game for long. He had a different career to other careers, I would say. He was not with 18 already the number one pick for everybody. He had to work. His brother's a goalkeeper as well. I'm sure he helped him a lot. So just it's about knowing the job. They're absolutely completely. It's maybe you can compare it with a centre half. In a really good team, you have the ball more in your feet than you have actually defensive challenges. But when you have a defensive challenge, then it's the most important in the whole game. So that's a similar job to do. And yeah, you need a specific personality for that. And thank God our boys have that.
You said that Alisson's got personality that means he's not easy to excite, but he looked pretty excited on
Yeah. It was great. The best thing was that it was the first there. So that just showed it was so late in the game that all the others thought, okay, it's a bit tough to sprint there, but he had he had still the power. Yeah, it was a nice situation. I didn't see it in the game actually. I saw it later. So good.
The option that he offers you with that adds another dimension to your game. So hey, you've got the pressing, you've got the passing, but you've also got these balls from the back, not only from him, but from all your back four who are capable of playing those precise balls forward. That gives you another dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah, direction, prepare direction all the time. Yeah, of course, that's the part of the way we play, clear. But with this specific situation with Ali now, Moore was actually at the 18-yard box around the corner, so he was probably the first one on the pitch who saw the guy will be offside, and then he was already on his bike because when Ali kicked the ball there, it was Moore was really in a perfect position. So yes, they know each other for longer than we know them because they played together at Rome. And from the first day since Mo is asking for these balls and Ali wants to play these balls, but you don't have a lot of time, the opportunity to do so, especially with that outcome, because usually the opponent is in a different protective formation. United wanted to score, it was late in the game, but this ball especially, I'm not sure that James was planned for all the protection in the game, but yeah, it was just a perfect moment for us, and yeah, really well done.
Jurgen, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's looked a little frustrated when he's come off in recent games. Is he being a bit harsh on himself? Because he's not playing poorly, is he? He's maybe not scoring goals, but he's contributing, isn't he, on the pitch?
Yeah, it was good. Alex Oxlade is in good shape.
Do you know why he might be a little bit frustrated with himself then?
He's not. He just looks like this. I ask him. Yeah, it's all fine. So it's normal. The player wants to play 90 minutes. We have to learn from our own past. So Oxlade is an unbelievably important player for us. And in the moment, there's moments in the game when players get a bit tired. Then they show up again and stuff like this. But there are moments when and I try to read the players during a game and try to understand in which moment or situation they are, energy level wise and stuff like this, and I make a decision. And sometimes I hit the point and sometimes not. And maybe with Ox I was not last time a bit too early, but he got a knock on top of that. He got a knock, he was limping a little bit, and if a midfielder then is limping, you start looking more in detail, and if then in one or two defensive situations the midfielder is not there where he should be, then you think, okay, it has an impact. So, and then we have to make a decision. That's what we did. But maybe after the game, then it didn't feel that bad anymore with the knock he got. But that's good, absolutely good. So it's all okay. We have good options to. Most of the time, we had really good options to make substitutions, and in this case as well. Adam came on and helped us in the last few games a lot. And in this game, he had in the first situation maybe was not too lucky, and then we have to restart again. But incredibly important player for us. So we have good options. As long as we have good options, we will make changes.
Thank you, Richard. Can I just finish off then? Just a couple of obviously, you've got a 16-point lead on hands. It's a very interesting situation.
Is it 16?
16?
No, 13.
But it's still very interesting situation. And underlines many strengths of your team. I wondered the impact that single point you finished behind Manchester City last Premier League has had on the development of the mental strength of your squad, especially in this season.
The 1 point less had absolutely no impact. Don't see that. Why should it? It's just as it was the situation last year. What we learned from last year, that we are a good football team, that we had when we thought we should use that in the new season as well. That's it. You don't have a lot of influence. You meet all the opponents. We meet City twice a year. So how we have to yes, the results were a draw at home and lost there. It's clear that we want to improve that, but all the rest has nothing to do with the opponents. It's all about using your football skills and your attitude, your character, team play, individual skills, all that stuff in all the Premier League games. That's what we have to do. But being 1 point down, that we were that angry and thought next year we will catch them. Nobody had an idea before the season that we can be even close to Man City or not, because they can make their next steps as well. So we thought about our next steps and try to do them, and that's how it is. We have nothing to do with the situation in the table last year.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.